my God, he locked me out.
So far.
Big dick energy. It's a great song,
And
man.
like he is high right now.
It's an awesome song.
Somebody smokes me.
No, I was watching. I'm telling you no. You can tell me what you want. She's gonna make the call.
And I'm the guy that went to Teresa's house.
That's how users are. Weak bitch, motherfucker. I hate you.
Well, that's because you're on drugs.
Okay, constantly living in a state of fear that he's not going to be okay. Constantly scared that something bad is gonna happen. Constantly on edge, waiting by my phone, crying by my phone, not sleeping. I have no appetite, and I am so stressed out and I'm so worn out. So when I
back up there. So I'm looking at the domestic battery charges that happened March 14th, March 15th.
It's really pretty. Like a bullshit bank commercial couple.
I'm on point. I have no problem with somebody tearing my life apart.
What I did? What I did.
That's why I said you go to the cops and have tearing to it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not.
Okay, cool. I mean, this is Chicago. It's probably all good neighborhoods, right? Everybody knows Chicago's a great place to be. And,
I was ready to be on a podcast.
The judge had to force her to return the Jeep. All right, so she gave it back last week. It went to the dealership. It got cleaned up. Well, that's what she got mad about. And then she started wanting property that she now says she left in the house or whatever else.
Okay, when did she move out?
It'd probably be. She's still got stuff here, so she's not totally out. Maybe.
That sounds Mexican as fuck. Almost like a cartel member. That's wild.
You don't know who that is?
I would know her street name.
That's all right. In the garage.
like a motorcycle?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's not mine. Don't ever let you hang into me. So.
That's not yours?
Nope.
Resending her here.
Bitch, what?
No, reset her here, not her. Because
Yeah.
fucking playing
Yeah, nothing to
games.
do with me. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about that dishwasher repairman.
Shut up!
What did that dishwasher repairman say to you, Reese?
Said, said you gotta have a little bit of dishwasher stuff on there to make make the dishwasher detergent sit.
Like the dirty.
Yeah.
You have to add dirty dishes.
They have to add a little dirty to the dishes. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Little dirty dishes.
Is that how it works?
This is because I wanted to quit drinking beer.
Yeah. Throwing them all out. Good
Throw
boy.
them all out. Actually, it's the ones that got frozen in the fitness house in their bath. Look at that. Get rid of them.
Oh my god.
Get rid of those in the trash can, can't you?
I can.
Those caps there.
So you can't.
Dishwasher repairman, yeah.
Yeah. So you can't rinse the dishes
You
off.
want to have a little bit of dirt on the dishwash, on the dishes.
Right. To make the cascade effective.
Correct. Yes, that's what I was told.
In 19 Rickety Tacky.
Yes.
Reese knew this dishwasher repairman one time say.
I don't know why. He was a popular man. He's traveled everywhere. I don't know why you haven't met him.
World traveler dishwasher repairman.
Yeah. I mean, like the Maytag man or something, you know?
Right.
What's going on?
Makes sense.
I don't know what your problem is.
Rinse the dishes off first. Reese will come up with these elaborate stories where he has to cut corners on shit like this guy. I knew this guy. 1942. He said the best way, the most effective way to do this is the shortcut that I'm taking.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows it. It was in the Reader's Digest, 1968.
What year were you born?
82. Jeez.
Crazy, they just kept those in your family.
Yeah. Never know what you can learn. All right, this was too big, you can't fit. So yeah, see, I'm recording. So Jessica, what'd you say? You said you could make it fit? Yeah. Jessica can make anything fit. That's what she's told me. I can make it fit. I can make it fit. You get out of my way. That's how we met. She was just happened to wander in, and she goes, "I can make it fit." I said, "No, you can't."
Look, bitch, look.
See, look, she's gonna make it fit. Look at it. She got it. She got it.
Pots go on the top.
Yeah.
Pots go on the bottom. There is a correct and incorrect way to load the dishwasher. But if you're helping me with the dishes, then I don't give a shit. We'll run that 16 times. I wanted to make that last one.
Yeah. No, has any man ever been asked to help with the dishes and then been told you're doing it wrong?
Every man ever. Every man in the history of ever. But at this point, we'll run that 16 times. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm so tired.
Fine. I just want everybody to know that Jessica says she can make it fit no matter what.
Why do you make everything dirty? Why do you do that?
You made it fit, didn't you?
Get out. Goddamn right I did. I'm sorry that I made this worse. I didn't mean to make this worse. I'm a person that get frustrated too. And I'm really frustrated that something so small was made into a huge thing. I just hate your fucking traffic.
Something small. Fucking what about that?
The Reese situation. I don't know why I said it like that. He has, done everything that he said that he was gonna do. Went through this whole process with the VA, and they finally have him a primary care provider, and all of that, and he's starting outpatient soon. I believe, I think he's waiting on a call today, so hopefully he'll be in outpatient starting on Monday. And that, outpatient and therapy, I'm pretty sure. I have to confirm that. That's why I haven't filmed the video yet, because I still want to talk to him and figure out what is happening. I know a lot of you guys want to know how the kids are doing and if they know what's going on. Yes and no. So they know that he is sick and has to get better. And we had, a couple of conversations with them about that. And I'll talk more about that in the Q&A, but Reese and I both just want to do what is best for the kids, and what is best is that he gets better. I heal all of my stuff because I am not perfect. I think as women, we tend to kind of blame ourselves, so I have blamed myself for a lot of what Reese is struggling with, even though I know that I have no control over that. I know that it's not my fault. But we do that to ourselves, right? Like if I said this, or I noticed that, or I did this differently, or I didn't do that, I have just beat myself up over the past 9 months thinking how could I have done better? The only way that I can do better is to heal the things that I'm still struggling with, like my past traumas and my triggers, because I have been, I've been toxic and scared and worried, and months ago I was struggling with alcohol, and I'm doing good now. It's one of those things where you're so scared and you're living in survival mode, and throughout this whole journey I have recognized how much I still have to heal and how much I still have to grow. And you either let it destroy you or you let it improve you, and I am gonna put the work in to make sure that I'm healed. I never understood the pain of watching your partner relapse, especially when you have children. I mean, it is a very traumatizing thing. But Reese is the strongest man I know, and he's got it, and he's on the right track for sure. Hello. So I don't know where this video is gonna end up, on what platform or whatever, but I just feel like I should be kind of vlogging my day-to-day experience with this and how I'm feeling, because it's really frustrating. And Okay, so I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk. So the video that I posted about Reese, he knew I was going to film it at some point. It's something that we have talked about on and off all year. I told him that I was going to film it, but before I filmed it, I did tell him, I have to tell your family what's going on. They have to know what's going on. And for a while, I felt like that was like a betrayal to tell his family, but his family, they're so good in Al-Anon and the program, and like they can really just be a great resource, you know? I just really felt like it was time for me to just finally reach out and be honest, because what I thought was just like a slip or just, you know, oh, whoops, oh shit, turned into an 8-month-long thing. And I thought it was time to just be honest with them and reach out for support and guidance. And, you know, they know him. Obviously, they know him, his family. But they know him better than most, and I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do, but he knew I was going to make the video, and he knew that I was going to tell his family. Well, a couple of people, like his friends, reached out to him to check on him and talk to him. And please know that when I'm saying this, I know that these people didn't mean this in a bad way, or like their intentions are good. They just care about Reese. They're just worried about Reese. But it just really fucking rubbed me the wrong way what they said. And I'm so tired, and like maybe that is why I'm just so like irritated by this comment. But you know, one of his friends said, yo man, how could she do that to you? How could she do that to you? And I know that they literally just have his best interest at heart, but I'm so frustrated and I'm so tired. So I have been the one picking up the pieces and holding our family together and taking care of 2 kids and 2 dogs, a saltwater fish tank, a whole ass household, while I also am the only one working. I have to constantly do all of these things. Like, kids need school clothes, and I have to go shopping, and that's like 4 different stores and school supplies, and the dog has to go to the vet, and my car needed to be renewed. The registration had to be renewed. So that's the whole thing. And like, I'm constantly doing everything, the dishes and the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning and the floors and the dishes and the laundry again, because it never ends. And I'm also trying to work and like maintain some kind of balance, you know, while at the same time, like all of the adult stuff you worry about on the day-to-day as a parent, all of that, right? On top of constantly living in a state of fear that he's not going to be okay, constantly scared that something bad is going to happen, constantly on edge, waiting by my phone, crying by my phone, not sleeping. I have no appetite, and I am so stressed out and I'm so worn out. So when I heard that comment, when dude was like, yo, how could she do that to you, bro? And he meant like, how could she put that online? That's what he meant. And I am very grateful that Reese was like, oh, dude, what are you talking about? She can talk about whatever she wants on YouTube, and it's okay. And I knew that she was gonna do that. And you know, that I put her through a lot, and he defended me, and he said that. And that person was like, oh yeah, okay, no, I get it. And totally fine conversation. And I know that person just has his best interest at heart, but I'm so fucking tired, you know? So it just has irritated me all day. I was talking to my friend Nicole Villa on TikTok, and I said all of this to her, you know, and she said, honestly, it sounds like you have compassion fatigue and no one else is there yet because no one else is experiencing the same thing as you. You know, you're helping him detox and you're doing all of these things. They're not seeing that side of it, you know? So like, it sounds like you have compassion fatigue and everyone else has compassion right now and you're just tired. And that made a lot of sense, you know? So like, maybe I'm probably just irritated for absolutely no reason. That comment was not meant in any negative way, any bad way. I just, man, right? Like, I know that my feelings are valid, but I also know that I'm just really tired. And cranky, and I probably do have compassion fatigue because this is really hard. Sitting in this seat is really hard. Being the one to take care of everything by myself, plus still trying to work full time, plus trying to find some creative outlet so I'm not crazy and waiting by my phone. So like I've started painting, plus worrying about his life, his safety, where he is, if he's okay, what's going on. It's just a lot. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot, you know? So that's where I'm at today. That's how I feel today. And I thought I'd share that with you guys. And it probably all sounds so crazy because I know that he's struggling and I care and I love him and I want him to get better more than anything. I'm just so frustrated in this moment because fuck, dude, like fucking, I'm sorry, but this is the real shit. This is the real shit, you know? I have 1,000 things on my to-do list. You know how they always say like it takes a village to raise a child? Where is this village? Is there an application process? You know, like no one's coming. No one's coming to save me, not even help me. I have to heal and do all this work on my own and make sure everything's okay, and like it's just a lot right now and I'm frustrated. I honestly feel like most of you will understand, but then I feel like other people are just gonna be shitty and just judge how I'm feeling right now. But like, oh my God. Some days I'm not as frustrated. Some days I'm like, this is what we're doing, you know, and he's gonna get it together and it's okay, and it's super positive about it, and everything's totally gonna be fine, and you know, he knows that he needs help, and that's a great step. And like, yeah, whatever. Some days I'm like that, and I'm really positive, and I'm not exhausted, and you know, other days I'm like this, mad and frustrated and scared and worried and cranky and irritated. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye, guys.
I refer to myself as a junkie simply so I demystify it. I call myself a dope fiend because I'm a dope fiend. This is the addiction issue, but I mean, there are lots of forms of addiction in the universe. I was in a good, stable marriage, writing books for children that were bestsellers. I was getting more and more work and more fame and attention and adulation. I got more as my addiction got worse, not less. My high bottom made that denial much more pervasive because it was all working. It's not working. Because if you are asking yourself, can I stop this? Then you're in a prison of your own mind. And I was in that prison, even though I was fabulous and all the bullshit part of show-off business. I had been nursing a secret Vicodin addiction for a very long time, over 10 years. Not one person knew except a Brazilian healer woman. She had been staying with us. And this was December of 98. I make dinner and buy all the food, make the dinner, and wrap the presents, and doing all my thing at Christmas time. And she was staying with us. And I was in my kitchen, and I had a pocket full of Vicodin. I had a glass of wine on the counter. It was it was Vic o'clock. I mean, it was just sort of like cocktail hour. And I pocketed 5 of them, put them in my mouth, took a swig of wine, and from behind me, I heard this. Jamie, I see you. I see you with your little pills, and you think you're so fabulous and so great, but the truth is you're dead. You're a dead woman. That was a first big, shocking realization that someone saw it, that it wasn't secret, that no one knew. Now it's January 1999, and there was an article in Esquire magazine called Vicodin, My Vicodin, written by a man named Tom Chiarella. And in the article, he describes outing himself by writing the article, that by writing the article, he knew his doctors wouldn't give them to him. He knew that his wife and family were going to be on to him. He was outing himself for a secret that he'd been carrying. And that spoke to me probably louder than anything else. All of a sudden I went, oh, someone else is just like me. So by February, I went to a friend of mine early February and finally, was able to say that I had a problem with Vicodin. And she looked at me and said, yeah, I know, me too. Isn't it amazing? And she gave me at that moment the number of a doctor who would write you script. Because prior to that, I didn't really get it from doctors. 5-finger discount, here and there. I had my ways. That night, when I woke up sometime between sleep and waking, I had a moment of clarity which saved my life, which is simply this. I imagined that she would die, and I would attend her funeral, and I would hug her children, and I would have blood on my hands. Or I would die, and she would attend my funeral, and she would hug my children with blood on her hands. And in that moment, I understood that it was going to kill me. And I called a friend of mine who was in recovery, an old colleague of mine, and I was terrified about being a public figure and walking into recovery centers and being around recovery, and I was terrified of it. And I said to my friend who was a long time in recovery, I said, is there any way somebody famous can meet me and go with me into a recovery room? And a woman called me, and I met her, somebody I'd never met, and she walked in with me, and I've been sober since that day. To call yourself an alcoholic or a drug addict is a badge of honor, because the secret, the shameful secret, is the reason why it is such a pervasive illness in our industry, in every socioeconomic strata, in every country in the world. It is the secret shame that keeps people locked up in their disease. I'm sober today. Am I going to be sober for the rest of my life? I hope so. I'm going to do everything I can to be. But I'm saying I am an addict, and I am in recovery, and I work a hard, good program, and I pay a lot of attention to it, but it's a pernicious disease. I've broken ribs twice last year, and I had to take the very drug that I loved. I was required to take in order to be able to exist, but I did it in a very carefully, very prescribed, very monitored way with a lot of contact. And there was no secrecy. I wasn't hiding it. It was out. The bottle was on the counter. My husband was like, everybody knew. That's a big change for me. But I mean, I'm an addict, so I'm in recovery. I'm not recovered, never will be, but I am working on it.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another edition of the fucking Trash Panda Show. Fuck around. Okay.
That broke the ice.
That just broke the ice all to shit.
So first and foremost, we are legally allowed to be in the same room.
So we're being told. No, we're good, yeah. All right.
We should start with that.
Start with that, okay. All right.
But essentially, we both wanted this video to just be as raw as we can get it, and just having a conversation about, life and where we're at. And
you guys have followed this journey from, basically, it feels like since we shared a bed on the floor and had no dishes to, when we felt like we were really crushing it, to times got tough till now. So, you know, it's been a long journey, and I think that it's time that we probably made this video. It's needed, it's past due, and you know, Jess had reached out to me, and you know, I was probably hesitant because I wasn't ready yet, and, you know, because I know that some of the things that are being put out there aren't good about anybody, but I wanted to make sure I made this video in time when I was ready, and it was important for me, I think, for us to make it together, and that's why I'm here, and that's why we're doing it on this channel, and that's why we're doing it together.
So, I mean, I just want to give, you know, you a space to talk about where you're at, and, you know, just kind of what's going on with you and what that looks like for us, because whether you like it or not, we are tied together for the next 14 years.
At least 14, yeah.
12 more years.
Probably for the rest of our lives.
For life, yeah.
Yeah. You know, things are better for me now than they have been in the past. We know that, you know, we've documented, you know, some of my struggles, and, you know, and some of those things are, you know, put out there, even though sometimes people may not have agreed, or they may have disagreed with my willingness to do that. I did that from a good place, and I do this from a good place, that I want people to know out there that there are going to be ups and downs with your personal life, and nobody's perfect. So, you know, for me, I'm on a good trajectory up right now. You know, obviously we're still working together. I get to see the children more. You know, we get to discuss more things as a family. We get to discuss, you know, a pathway forward. You know, my usage, and, you know, in the past has been, you know, with substances and alcohol, things have been bad. Now, you know, I am clean. I'm working on staying that way. I'm working with the VA again. And, you know, we had our first, you know, session today to talk about onboarding, on how we try to get along together. And I think that's all positive things. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, we are working on that. I am working on that. And those things may or may not be a private matter, but I think it's important to at least say on the high notes where I am at and where we are at. How do you feel about that?
All good things, all good things. You know, recovery is not linear. You know, it would be unrealistic to say that you're going to be sober for the rest of your life, or that I'm going to be sober for the rest of mine. You know, I'm also in individual therapy. He's in individual therapy. We're doing therapy together, so there is a shit ton of therapy.
A lot of therapy dollars going on.
A lot of therapy. And the VA is good with that. So the therapy that we do together is covered. His individual therapy is covered. If we were married, mine would be covered through VA as well. I said that just in case you guys are, you know, veterans.
Yes.
Family counseling is covered through the VA, so definitely look into that if you need it. But you know, I think things got really, really, really bad, and it's going to take time and a lot of individual work and work together to kind of untangle the web. You know, I mean, we both hurt each other. We both, you know, did a lot of really, I guess, damaging things, a lot of toxic things. And, you know, I know for me, there's things that I'm definitely not proud of that has happened in our relationship. But 9 years, whew,
you're never going to make it that long in a relationship, or longer. I don't want to say it has to do with length of time in a relationship, but I think that every relationship is going to have its ups and downs.
Yeah.
And if you didn't feel so strongly about a person, you wouldn't be willing to try to accept the ups and downs and try to do whatever you can, no matter what that looks like, future forward, to try to make something healthy out of that. No matter how bad you've hurt each other, no matter how bad it stings sometimes. I know that, you know, for us, and from my perspective, there are times that we may speak or communicate that I couldn't be any more mad or angry, but it takes me about 2 seconds of being out of the room with her before I realize I can't ignore the past and how much I cared, how much I do care, that those things are just at face value in the time. And, you know, it's not the way I really, really feel. It's just really hard when it gets hard like this. And I think that everybody probably experiences that to some degree. If you're in a relationship that you either really matters, or you have a family, you have children together, those things are difficult. They're difficult things to tackle. And I think that we started out on this journey making some of these things together to highlight those, that life is messy. people are messy. And they make a lot of messy things along the way. And the biggest thing is to put your big kid boots on and do the best you can with it. And sometimes you kind of have to wave the white flag, and we're trying both very, very hard to do that. And this is why we're making this video now, to help everybody understand that, we're in this together. We are working on this together. We are not divided. We are stronger together, and that's what we want to communicate with the people that have watched us this whole time along the way.
I mean, I don't want to get like too nostalgia and just word salad and talk about random things.
Then don't. Or if you want to do, it's on you. This is our video. You do whatever you want.
How did that beep? I swear to God.
I know.
It's gonna be here for the end of time.
It's the beep that will never go. You would think the battery would run out on that thing.
Yeah, it's the one downstairs still?
Still.
It's insanity.
The beep that never goes away. It's the beep that will.
I will offer anyone $1 million.
If you can find the beep in this house.
I mean, I don't have $1 million, but I will, everything in my bank account plus $1 million that I don't have, and please find the beep.
If you got $1 million, I hope you're sharing with me. So, alright, go ahead.
No. How do you feel about the videos I put out a few months ago?
They're tough. They're tough, and I feel like some things, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like that some things could have been better addressed in private. I feel like that some things, I won't at any point in time say that some of the things that were on that video were okay. They weren't. I will stand in front of that. I've said that, and even in front of people that have addressed that with me, that knew me personally and professionally, that that it's kind of come to me. I said, look, I got to start this conversation with, despite what you think about what you saw or how it was addressed or the way it was put out, we know those things. We can agree probably all now that it shouldn't have been done that way, right? Do we agree on that?
Putting the videos out?
Yeah. I mean, I have to ask.
I think you finish what you were saying, and then I'll.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, none of that is okay. None of being violent towards each other, using, aggressive behavior in the way that was seen or not seen. Those things are not okay, and they're not in any relationship, one side or the other. And we've done both of it and all of it here, and none of that should be, I think, taken lightly. And I don't think it's right, or I don't think it's right by any means. And I hope that you agree with that. I just wish, in my mind, I think that those things could have been handled better privately, and I wish that they had. But the past is the past now, and I don't want to say anything other than that.
I mean, your feelings are completely valid. It's okay to say that you were mad that I posted it. I get that, and I think from my point of view and my perspective is. Because of everything that we've gone through in the past 14 months or so, I don't think I've made the best decisions in my personal life and my professional life, and I'm trying to give myself, the same grace and forgiveness that I give a lot of other people, and it's tough, because the decisions that I make don't just affect me, and would you feel equally as upset if somebody caught you at a bad moment in your life, a moment that you wish you could take back, a moment that you thought showed you at your worst, and then they put it out there? Would you feel upset about that? No, I would be upset, and I think even if I watch this video a year from now, my opinion might change a year from now. But in the moment, I genuinely believed that what I was experiencing, the emotional abuse and everything that has happened, I felt as though it wasn't going to end, and I felt silenced, and I was trying to take my power back. However, I don't think that posting in that moment without talking about it with you first, without working through it in therapy, I don't think it was the best decision, and I do think that I was wrong for that kind of knee-jerk, I'm going to take my power back reaction.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
can we agree that we both, during our struggles, have done things that we're not proud of?
Yeah.
And we would not want everybody to have seen the way we behaved when we were really struggling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, that's all I ask. I mean, I know people can respond however they want, because it's out there. We're putting this video out there. And, you know, I want to forward say that, you know, we both agreed to make this video. We both agreed on how it would be edited and how it would be presented. But at the same time, thank you for saying that I know that we both did things that we weren't proud of, and it shouldn't, we can do better. We can both do better.
I'm watching this video back, and oh my God, you guys. So Mindy had left 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before this. So that just happened. Now I'm trying everything in me to have a solid co-parenting plan, and I'd gone over to the house a few times, had dinner, like cooked them dinner, them and the kids, and I was like, okay, we got this. Like, we're gonna be friends, we're gonna co-parent, everything's gonna be solid. In this moment, I was so fucking tired. I'm still so tired, but in this moment, I didn't catch it, and I can catch it now because it's been a while. It's September 20th, 2023. This was back in like March. He's really intentional with his wording. So when he talks about our relationship and the struggles of our relationship and how we both kind of hurt each other over the years in different ways in this relationship, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Then he says, and I missed it here, then he says, specifically when he's talking about physical things, like being violent towards each other, he says that we're both violent towards each other. And that is not true. And I didn't even catch it. He said it's not okay for both of us to be physical with each other, or for both of us to hurt each other or abuse each other. He says that, and I don't even catch it. There is abuse, and then there's reactive abuse. I think society as a whole just does not understand domestic violence and the circle of domestic violence and narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships and traumas and all that stuff. Victim blaming is a form of gaslighting. So, and I think a lot of people do this unintentionally. When people say they were both toxic to each other, they were both abusive to each other, they were both abusers, that is not true. Mutual abuse does not exist. It's not real. Okay, that's per the domestic violence fucking national shit. I'm not making that up. There is abuse, then there is reactive abuse. So what would happen would be he would just poke and poke and poke and poke and poke, and he knew how to get me, especially in the last year of our relationship when he was in a relapse. He knew that, like, just disappearing for days on end randomly when he's watching football, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna be calling him and blowing up his phone, and I'm gonna be scared. I'm gonna be crying myself to sleep if I can sleep at all. I'm not gonna have an appetite. He's getting this big emotional response out of me, and in it, I almost lost my own life to that, to the emotional pain that came with this relationship. I was in so much pain because the silent treatment just by itself, holy shit, that hurts. That causes physical pain. Like I physically thought I was going to die if I did not hear from him. And when you're kept in that cycle, when you're kept exhausted and just tired and worn out, and you're not eating right, you're not drinking water, you're not taking care of your body, you're just crying and waiting by the phone, calling that person and waiting for something bad to happen, and like you just want to make sure that they're okay, they're escaping accountability from whatever they did, because now you're not talking about the fight that you had 3 days ago when they took off. No, you're now like, oh my God, are you okay? And you get that dopamine and serotonin that you would get from like a drug. You're getting that from this person. It is a addiction. These narcissistic and toxic relationships, they are like an addiction, and it triggers the reward component to your brain. So when he would go days on end, just silence, after just watching a football game, takes off, right? Silence. I have no idea where he is, what he's doing. Then he'd reach back out to me, finally. I mean, I'd be picking him up from a fucking crash site or a hospital or some hotel randomly, and he's just not okay. We're not talking about the fight. We're not talking about the fact that I saw on his phone cash apps to escorts. We're not talking about that. No. I shouldn't have started a fight with him. I shouldn't have questioned him. I shouldn't have asked him about his phone. But we're not going to talk about that, because now he is calling me. He texted me. He needs me, and I have to go see him and help him with whatever the fuck, right? That is the cycle that I was in. So when I sit here and I listen to his verbiage around both of us being abusive, it makes me a little crazy, but at this point in my journey, I just have radical acceptance. You know what I mean? I have accepted that this person is who the fuck he has shown me, not who he said he is. He is who he has shown me, and I just accept the fact that that is who he is. That is always gonna be who he is. I can't change that. I can't do anything about that. I can just protect my own mental health and my own peace, recognize the signs where my body is kind of going there, like when I'm elevated or I'm really triggered or whatever, and I have learned to not respond. You know, like I showed him one of the body cam videos in this episode, or maybe the first episode, and he saw the body cam footage of him, literally his face on body cam, and he said, "That is not me." Because like it's him, and then the next screen's like all blurred out because it's like in the cop car and you can see the computer or whatever. He goes, "Well, why is it all blurred out? That's not me." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean it's not you?" And then I'm like, okay, it's not you. The reason that he had Mindy at the house was specifically just to hurt me. That's it. Oh, I'm gonna sleep with her friend, and her friend, hot dog flavored water vibes. She is going to make videos about Jess. That's gonna upset her more. That's gonna keep her from working. That's gonna keep her from sharing her story. It has been his primary goal to keep me silent. So he knew this is gonna upset her. This is gonna make her fall into an even deeper pit of depression. And that's gonna keep me from filming videos. And I was just so like, I don't even know. I was in such a fog, you know? And I had other people telling me what I should do, other people telling me how to handle it, and that didn't help because I was so torn, you know? We filmed this video twice. This is the first one. And I might show the second version that we tried to film in episode 3, but as soon as we got done filming the second one, he grabs my phone and I'll show you guys the body cam footage of that. But this is really hard. This has been really hard for me to watch back. But I know that a huge effort was made to try to silence me, both from these people and also drama channels and comments, but stop trying to silence the victim. We have every right in the world to share our story however we see fit. Love you guys.
I think that we can't.
Can't do much worse.
Can't do much worse, no. Can't get much worse, so, no.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, like, our kids matter more than anything else, and you know, I want us to be, you know, on good terms so that we can have a good relationship around our babies. They feel that energy. They feel when things are tense and when things are not good, and I don't want to contribute to that any more than I already have, and I'm sure.
I feel the same way. They seem to be, as we've gone on, because a lot of time has gone by since some of the videos have been posted, and we were having better times together. I won't say that they're all good times. I'm sure you can agree that it's not all sunshine, but we were making progress, and that's why we're making this video. The children are okay with us being in the same house together. They are okay seeing us together as a family, whatever that looks like now, and they're becoming more comfortable with that. And that is, for me, that it does a lot for me, you know, personally. I think because that matters the most, you know, for me, so. Do my best.
Just stare at you until you become really uncomfortable.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
It matters to me because I put up a great wall of silence and stone, and I know that I've done that a lot in this relationship, and sometimes it's been to our detriment. But you know, really, I know I'm not a bad person, and I know that I don't have a heart. You know, that I do have a heart that I care, man. I care about this family. I care about Jessica. I care about me. I care about the girls. I care about everything. I want it to be okay, and I know that a lot of that has to come on, you know, future forward events, and we have to work together to do that, and we can't do that if we're at odds. And I wanted us to make sure that, you know, we're doing this video to make sure everybody understands that we're not, you know.
We have a lot of work to do, you know, like I said, individually and together. But I'm optimistic, and I don't think that you're a bad person either, but I think tiny little bit of substances makes you a completely different person. I mean, it's just night and day.
I think that's the same for everybody, though. That's why we see ourselves at the worst when we're addicts. You know what I mean? Because we do hurtful things and we hurt people when we're using. You know what I mean? And that's happened on all sides, and that happens with everybody, right?
Yeah. Do you think that you are a narcissist?
I don't think so. I don't. But I think we all
have narcissists.
We all have tendencies, because at the end of the day, we're human. We all think that we are the most important.
But you don't think you have narcissistic personality disorder?
I don't think I do. I don't believe I do. Do you?
When you're sober, I don't think that. I don't think that you have narcissistic personality disorder. I see a different person when you're not sober, you know? So I did think, I can't diagnose you, but I did think that you were so narcissistic to me in your active addiction. And I know what I was experiencing was narcissistic abuse, but when you're sober, you're different, you know? What's that word?
Nice? Is nice the word we're looking for?
Not nice. Where you can see the mistakes that you've made. What's the... Not open-minded, but when you're sober, you're very self-aware.
Yeah.
And you're, you know, it's easy for you to be accountable. It's easier for you to...
I think that we all deal with that though when we use as addicts, because when your addiction is feeding you, you know, that's when you're at your worst, you know, and you can be a totally different person. I know that you've said in the past that, you know, in your usage, you know, you remember that, you know, you're like, can't believe I did some of this stuff or behaved the way I did. Or
I was so angry. I remember, like, in my active addiction, heroin was my DOC, and I did meth for a short time in 2011. But I remember on heroin and pills, I was angry. I was a very angry person. I would lash out at people, yell at people, scream at people, and I was just a really shitty person. I wonder if people around me thought I was very narcissistic.
Probably. I'm sure they did.
I wish I could have, you know, I wish I could see that, like just a glimpse of what I looked like in active addiction and how mean I was. But you know, I was concerned for a while that you were a narcissist and that we were never going to be able to co-parent together. And I'm more optimistic now, but you know, it worries me. It does. Do you think that the way that you treated me was narcissistic last year?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. I think we fed off each other.
Okay.
I think we fed off each other. And I think a lot of anger and the way that it's presented in a relationship also stems from a lot of love and a caring. As you start to see that what you think you've built together starts to crumble around you, you lash out. And what is it? You hurt people. So you lash out at the people that are closest to you, and it's oftentimes the people that you love the most.
I will say that I do think that there is some truth to what you said in terms of us feeding off of each other. You know, because if I'm mad, I get you mad, and then we're mad at each other, and I think we have had a lot of moments where we are toxic together.
Yeah. And I think that some of the behaviors that you displayed during that, I felt were very narcissistic. I felt the way you acted was very narcissistic towards me. I felt a lot of the terminology and things that you used, even in some of the videos that you made, what was like, is she not staring in a mirror right now? Like, this is what's going on. Like, and I'm sure you felt that same way about me. And that's just, you do that in the moment because you feel so strongly. And sometimes, like I said, because you're so close to the problem, I think that we both felt that way about each other. Because I felt that very strongly about you at a certain point in time, and was very concerned about a way to move forward as well.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry too. So we're both sorry. I know. It's hard. It's hard to make this video kind of a little bit. Is it not?
It is, and
because everybody's still thinking,
are you sure?
What's going on? No.
So, you know.
No.
You know?
I know.
I know, bro.
It can be a short video. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be something that we're putting together to put out there. I think that it's just a good first step online. And because I know I have been radio silent. I have not commented. I have not posted. And I've tried to stay, even the people that know me, I've said, I am not watching. I do not look. I do not read, because it's not good for my emotional and mental health right now. And that is what I'm trying to work on first and foremost, because if I don't get that right, I can't be any good for the kids. I can't be any good for anybody else. You know what I mean? So that has to be priority one for me. And, you know, I know that Jessica and I had discussed, you know, for a while trying to make this video with everything that's happened. And, you know, I told her, I said, you know, really what I want everybody to come away with is, man, really, it's home team for me. And everybody else is around us. I mean, they may have their opinions, and I know that everybody can either be, you know, team race or team Jess or whatever it is, but really for me, it's team us. In my mind, you know what I mean? And I really want people to understand that I can say, or I've had my opinions in the past and during this, but I really, my focus is trying to make everything okay for us, for the girls. And I want to do that in the most positive way I can. I don't want any of that negative BS. There's no place for it in my mind, in my heart, and I hope that you feel the same way.
We'll see.
Do you feel the same way?
No, yeah, everything that I do is for our kids, and you know, I want to help you if I can, but if I'm only making it worse or causing more tension or more harm, then I need to take a step back. You know?
There's been times, I think, in the past where we know that we're probably not doing each other justice by winding each other up the way that we have been, and sometimes that means allowing ourselves to take a step back, to breathe in the moment, even if it's 30 minutes, an hour, a day, whatever. Revisit the topic, because I think that we both agree that we do that to each other right now currently. We probably always have, but
right. You know, like last year when we were still living together and still together, we would fight, and then Reese would like run off for a week. So that's not healthy. So we have to both be, you know, willing to be like, let's not talk about this right now. Let's, you know, I'm gonna go back to my house.
Pause.
I'm gonna hang up the phone. Let's maybe talk about this tomorrow. We have to be okay with getting in and out of really hard conversations if we're talking about it outside of therapy, which we probably shouldn't do at all right now. We should probably only talk about hard stuff in therapy.
I agree.
But I think that I just want us to be fucking cool, bro. Okay, so that we can be cool with the kids and everything is, you know, calm and
yeah. That's all we can ask for right now. The kids have to fucking see us move forward in a healthy manner. They have to see us get along in the same room, on the phone, because they feel that, they see that, and that is so important. So important.
They're so smart. They pick up on all of that. You know, even when you don't think that they can hear you, or kids feel, and they know so much more than I think adults give them credit for. So.
Yeah.
You know, we're pretty honest with them about, you know, where we're at, that we're in therapy, and that, you know, treatment is definitely a topic of discussion. It has been on and off, but we're pretty honest.
Yeah, as honest as we can be or should be with small children. You know, and as far as our court, you know, our stuff, our legal stuff, we're working on trying to get through that. I think we have to go next month, and hopefully we're at a place where we can agree that, you know, that we're cool. I hope. You know, I think that we can do that, and we don't need anything like that, because we're able to sit here and make this video. You know, we're able to sit here and get along. We just have to be able to do that more consistently. We're not concerned about, you know, how the other person feels, you know, emotionally, you know, physically. We want to make sure that everybody's okay, and I think that we can do that. I believe we can do that.
I don't know what I would do without your manpower help.
Smack that.
Oh my god. Thank you.
Welcome.
I found this cameraman.
I was sitting outside of the local women's panhandling.
Oh my
said,
god.
we'll work for food or great sex.
Oh my god.
So
Nice.
Jessica picked me up. I'm not sure how we're going to settle this, but depending on how the cinematography goes, I think my price will go up. So we'll see what she's willing to do.
Get out.
Bring me to one of these interview rooms over here. What's that? Only us working all our assets. So yeah.
So this happened yesterday at my ex's house. There was an order of protection for domestic violence type of stuff, and we changed the order of protection so that he could see the kids. So we were there at his house for a visit, and he took my phone. I was showing him text on my phone. I was like holding it, and he was like scrolling on my phone, so I'm holding it and he's doing that. After a minute, I'm like, okay, like just stop. So So I went to take my phone, and I was holding it like this, and he snatched it from me, and as he was like taking it from me, I locked it really quick. And then he stood up, and I stood up too, and I'm like, just give me my phone, just give it back. And he wouldn't, and he like grabbed me, like bear hugged me, and he was trying to grab my face to open the phone with my face, like Face ID. That lasted for a while. We were like in the living room, and there's a room, like a sitting room with a pool table in it. So after a while, we're like in the corner of that other room, and he's trying to like still like grab my face and use my face to open the phone for Face ID.
Okay.
And our kids were in the doorway, so they saw everything, and I kept telling him, like, the kids, like, they see us, just stop. At some point, he lets go, but he's kind of has me pinned in the corner. And I tried to like walk past him, but he wouldn't let me. And after a while, our 6-year-old, she was kind of the closest. I'm like, come here. So I picked her up, and I had her in my arms, and I just walked past him and grabbed a bag that was by the door and got in the car. And at the same time, he has my phone still and takes my phone and gets in his car and drives off.
421, do you have Jessica on the ticket already? Jessica Kent. Were you able to find the order of protection for her? Were you able to get the male party Judd Klein on the ticket as well, or no? Okay, I'll give you his name and date of birth for now, if you could add that to the ticket. Last name Klein, Charles Lincoln, Ida Nor Edward, first name Judd, John, Union David, middle initial R Robert. 10-4, is she popping up on there as well? Thank you. We were able to find it. We were able to find the order of protection. We just run your name. We were able to get it to pop up. We ran his name. It did pop up. Your name was on there, so we do have a valid order of protection on hand. Okay. I'll go grab a laptop so that we can look at the details of it. You good? Do you have any questions?
No, it's not really. Doesn't seem like a violation of OOP. It's just it's bad at this point.
I don't want to say yes or no to that violation of order protection because I went to look at it real briefly. And have you filled one out before?
On OOP?
Yeah. No. There's like a bunch of little boxes that are numbered like 1 through 16. And you like check the ones that are included. Yeah. So we have to find one and then match the numbers because it says the remedies are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or whatever. So that's why I didn't want to speak on that. So at the very least we have battery. So if you have charges for battery, we have charges for battery. So I think if this game plan is cool with you, you got all our info, you got the story, timeline, all the questions answered. Cut her loose, tell her to go hang out. We'll try to get a phone back as soon as possible. Then we go straight to his house and try to speak to him about what happened. Real laid back, real cool, just like, hey, this is what's going on. You want to tell us what happened because she tried to follow up with APD, you know, she's speaking with us, so I like to get your side of things before things get out of hand. And then at that point, maybe we can pull the 10-year-old aside and speak to him. We've already got her approval. I can ask him again. I think I'm going to have both their approval. They don't need juveniles to sit in with us. Okay. If we do, Shadow Robinson as well. So.
Oh, alright.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So get a report number real quick, send them my info, and then go from there.
Cool.
Match up what the executive remedies are.
Yeah, I'll show you on the computer. It just has the numbered remedies. It doesn't have the remedies listed out.
Oh, but it has the numbers.
Yes, so we just need to connect the dots on that, and then we'll go talk to Old Boy over on the west side. Okay. That's down, isn't it? I hate that they do that.
or anything? I usually give it 3 good tries. My rule of thumb. Got him? You hear him? No. They said he saw him. I'm seeing if there's windows on the garage. There are, but pretty high up. Can you see him over now? No movement? Alright. See if we can see him in the garage real quick. Definitely not that tall. Should have brought you. They're not room lights?
Yeah, no, they're like the corner ones.
Alright. Alright.
Narcs and birthdays, they don't go together. You want to see a narc act up? Have a birthday. Because when you have a birthday, remember, it's supposed to be all about you. But they'll make sure they do anything to make sure it's not all about you. They might try to cancel on your birthday or just make up some sort of drama while it's your birthday weekend. Like, everyone could be wishing you happy birthday, then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I gotta leave, gotta go. Happy birthday. And then out. Or they'll bring up something from the past that is like so far in the past, you can't even believe that they did. Either way, they're going to bring some type of drama, some form of making it all about themselves. Either talking about what they did for you and this and that, holding it over your head, or they'll just create some type of drama. Either way, they're just sabotaging the time when you get all the attention. And that's trash.
But I woke up this morning like covered in sweat, but I was cold. So it's like a cold sweat. Like, you would think I'm detoxing. Like, why would I wake up covered in sweat? You know, I'm so on edge because I'm going to have breakfast with Reese today. And I'm really on edge. And I kind of want to record, like, not him, or like, just, I don't know. I kind of want to record like some things that he says, or like the conversation, not for you guys, for him later, like to show him, like, bro. I do have a couple of little videos months ago when he was like, you know, sober. I showed him and he's like, Jesus. And I'm like, yes, yep, that energy. Let's keep that energy. So like the pattern is like, he like is kind of messed up for a week and uppers for a week, and you know, I don't really hear from him. He's not really, you know, he's not there, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not there. And then it'll be, you know, he'll sober up, he'll go through all of that, he'll detox, and he'll be great, and get, you know, a week or so of clear, just maybe 2 weeks of just clarity, and it's good, and everything's good. And then it's not. And then it's just not. It'll be like, okay, a week, 2 weeks where everything's good. Everything seems kind of normal, you know? And then just randomly out of the clear blue sky, he'll just leave. And he won't come back. And I know that he's going to get high he can't do that here. He can't come here like that, right? So like, I know, like, if he just randomly takes off, like, there's been times where I've just come home from the store and he's gone, or he's just sitting on the couch watching TV 1 second and then he just leaves and I don't see him for days. That's not him. That's not Reese. That's not who he is. Like, this is just such a mountain that he has to climb, you know? So I woke up this morning and just, I'm nervous, cold sweat nervous, like, what? Ugh. I need coffee. I haven't even had one sip of coffee yet, so I'm gonna go get coffee. I just wanted to share that with you guys, that I'm just so nervous and anxious to meet him for breakfast because I don't know what condition he's going to be in, and that is really hard for me to see. Okay, my battery is blinking at me. It's dying. I'll check in with you guys later.
So how do they do it? Like, seriously, how do they do it? How do narcissists manage to stay in these long-term relationships? Well, there is only one reason that they actually stay in these long-term relationships, because it all depends on how compliant their partner, victim, or supply is. But that's really all it is. Because if that partner doesn't question them, doesn't really have much to do, doesn't really comment on what they are doing, where they are going, then the narcissist is going to be able to be free to do whatever they want. So they're going to keep that person around. They're going to keep that supply around because it's easy. Because this is all about it being easy for them. They don't want to put the hard work in. Guaranteed they did right at the beginning, but they're not going to keep that going. In their minds, they've done their bit. So this is all about how easy it is for them to keep this partner around, or how compliant their partner actually is. That's how they do it.
So, mini vlog number 4. I know it's been a minute since I did one of these, but it's been kind of crazy. Reese relapsed again, and he is just really not okay. So I left and I took the girls. I mean, I'm in my house right now because I'm packing. And I'm moving all of our things into storage, and I'm looking to buy a house, but the girls and I are staying in a hotel until then. This keeps going blurry, I'm sorry. The girls and I are out and we're safe, which is the most important thing, but this is obviously very devastating. And I'm about to film a video right now for YouTube to kind of just talk about it all, and it is just, it's so hard. So that's kind of the update with that, and I know that, like, I've done all that I can, and he is hurting. Addiction starts and stops with pain, but this is not something that we can stay in anymore, and it sucks. It really fucking sucks, but the girls and I are having so much fun in the hotel. We're doing arts and crafts and just all kinds of stuff, you know, popcorn and movies and stuff, and they're still in school, obviously. So that is where we're at. That's the very gut-wrenching, very sad update. He's just in a lot of pain, and a wise woman once packed up all their shit and left, because this fucked up stuff will not be my story, and I will not put my kids in danger. I won't have someone in the house that is in his condition, and it's just not okay anymore, you know? And I know that we posted a video a few weeks back, and I had so much hope. You know, I really thought that that was it. I mean, for him to get on YouTube and talk about it, I thought that was, like, huge. I mean, it was huge, and that was great progress. But he's just in a lot of pain. He's really hurting. So until he can get better, he can't see the girls until he's sober. He can't, you know, come around them in that condition. But I have a great place picked out for him for detox and treatment when he's ready, and we'll just go from there. And when I get that call, I'll take him to treatment. I think I'm gonna vlog the entire process of moving and taking things to storage and buying a house. I've never bought a house before by myself. This is technically Reese's house. It's a VA home loan, and I've never bought a house by myself. And I'm so indecisive that it's gonna be a journey, but I have to take care of myself, and I have to take care of our girls. And if you are struggling with someone, a partner in addiction, and they're in the house or they're bringing drugs into the house and you have babies, leave, please leave. It's just so dangerous, and they have, you know, the babies come first and they have to be safe. You know, so because of this, I've had to make really, really hard decisions to prioritize their safety, their mental health, my mental health. The last thing that I want to do is leave Reese or take the kids. That's the fucking last thing that I want to do. But he's left me with no choice. He's left me with no choice. And it sucks that we're here, but I feel a little bit better now that I've like made that decision and I've made that leap, and I come back here every day to pack things and take it to storage, and I'm looking at a house. I have a great realtor and a whole team, and we're gonna find something, probably not something as big and beautiful as this house, because it is a one income house moving forward, and that's fine. That's fine, but it's a new journey, and I'm gonna share it with you guys because I feel like this is our place. I feel like it's safe for me to share, and you guys always give me so much love and positivity on Patreon and YouTube and all over, but especially here on Patreon, and I really appreciate you guys so much. So I'm gonna go check. I'm in moving clothes, and that's hard too. I don't know what to pack. Like, what do I take? Important stuff. Okay, so like poppets. Right? Like, and I was gonna show you guys my room because I've been working on it, like making it cool. I was gonna do like a whole house tour. I didn't think I was gonna do a house tour in a new house, but that's where life has taken us. So house tour coming soon. Different house. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for all of your continued love and support on here. I appreciate y'all so much. Play this message that I got from my friend Katie, and yes, she said that I could share it. I love her.
Okay, you know I'm always behind because life and kids and craziness, and I know you love me and you're fine with it. Plus, I have my own updates from you anyway, but I'm your biggest fan, so I love to make sure like I'm watching your videos. I try to watch all of them. I'm sure I missed some here and there because you are a crazy content creator. Sure. But for the most part, I'm talking about like YouTube because I don't have TikTok or Patreon. Sorry. Anyway, totally fine. But I just watched that like video that you posted a few days ago answering people's questions, and I just wanted you to know that I love you, and I know you get so many hater comments and that you do a really good job trying to not let them affect you, but also you're human, and that just is gonna happen, and it makes sense. And of course, like, some of them would just kind of get to you or frustrate you or annoy you. But I just want you to know, like, as your friend that knows more behind the scenes and, like, knows you are not the villain in this. You're also not the hero. And you have never once portrayed that to me. You have never once portrayed to me that, like, oh, woe is me, I'm the hero in this for Reese, or, like, Reese is such a horrible guy. Like, have you vented? Have you complained? Sure. But again, like, who doesn't? And I just wanted to reassure you of that. Like, I wanted you to know, as your homegirl behind the scenes that, like, knows more than these little YouTube gremlins that come out of the woodwork and are like, oh, Jessica, they're wrong. They don't know you. And, like, you're doing everything possible to help him, to put him in a good position, to help him get the help that he needs while also trying to not compromise your own mental health. And you're doing such a good job taking care of your girls. I mean, like, even the fact that you, like, messaged me a while back about, like, I don't know the right word, like, safe-proofing the house. You are going above and beyond to make sure these girls are safe. And I know that that's not stuff that you're necessarily going to share with the world, and, like, you don't have to, and that's totally fine. I just want you to know, like, it's hard for me sometimes to not come to bat for you, but just know, like, in my mind and everything, like, I am. When I see these comments or, like, I know about them and whatever, like, I'm like, you don't know my girl, don't talk about her, that ain't her, knock it off, like, you're wrong, that's not factual. I got your back, and I know there are other people that are true friends that have your back, and we know you, and we know the person that you are, and you are doing the best that you can. And that's all that anybody can ask right now. And honestly, in my opinion, the best that you're giving right now is so far above and beyond what other people can give that it's incredible. It's an inspiring thing to me. You're such an encouragement to me, and I love you, and I'm here in any way that you need.
I just wanted to share that with you guys because she's so freaking sweet. And, like, first of all, I tell all my friends, don't watch my videos. Don't watch that. You don't have to watch those videos, but she does anyway. And I don't know, she is just one of those friends that is ride or die. Known her since before I had eyebrows, you know, like junior high. She is not the kind of friend that is going to be like, no, you're totally in the right if I'm dead ass wrong. She's going to be like, I don't really think that that's how it went. And she'll tell me like, you probably shouldn't have done that, or you probably shouldn't have said that. So I communicate a lot to Katie, and I'm like, dude, this is happening and that's happening and this is what I said and that was probably fucking wrong, and like, you know, I was probably toxic as shit in that situation. And she's like, yes, but you realized it, so that's progress. You need friends like that are always gonna have your back and then tell you in the car ride home that you were wrong, you know, and like that's how she is. And there's no playbook on any of the things that I've dealt with all year. There's no, hey, if this happens, do this. Life does not come with a manual, and it's been really hard. But if you're doing your fucking best, then that's something. It's gotta count for something, right? So I know that like it'll get better. Get a friend that'll tell you that you're wrong, but also, you know, fight for you anyway. And I know I have some YouTube gremlins that come out of the woodwork, like she said, but I also have so many of you guys that are so supportive and so encouraging and so kind. Like, it's that love and encouragement that keeps me going. That's what keeps me making content. That's what keeps me feeling more comfortable on the internet to share really fucking personal things or really hard things. And I appreciate you guys so much. Fuck the gremlins. And I will see you guys in my next one.
It's disgusting to me how people treat people on the internet. I know that there is a group of people in life that just don't like to see people win. Fucked up as that sounds, there is
So
literally
real.
people in life that don't want to see people do good.
Because they're fucking miserable.
They're so fucking miserable, and they're so fucking disgusted that somebody else has got an opportunity that they felt like they were entitled to, or that they should have got.
Or that they could never reach because they didn't work their ass off.
Period. And it is a fucking hater mentality. I am a little empathetic of them because I too have been a young hater. I remember a time in my life where something good would happen to somebody, whether I knew them or didn't, because I was doing so bad in life and I was such a bad person that it just disgusted. So I would look for a reason why that shouldn't have been credited. So I see it and I just immediately feel kind of bad for the person commenting when I'm like, man, I remember being that miserable human.
Yeah.
That sucks that you're just looking for anything. You hate that a man like me could marry a woman that looks so good and has such the charisma of my wife, that you are reverted to just, she's a gold digger. Your mind automatically has to put an asterisk to it. Really, what really hurts is I'm a good dude.
Right.
And you're not. And you're
Right.
reading that, and it's just what I'm focused on. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands and millions of people that download the Dumb Blonde podcast. 400 million streams I got on Spotify alone last year. I don't give a fuck what username 767241962 hashtag money sign said about me today.
Preach, daddy.
You know, let that be the fucking clip for the day. Suck my dick soft.
She talks about healing her traumas, healing her triggers. It's really hard. It's really hard. She's a single mom now and a homeowner, and she also, you know, she can't avoid like not talking about race. She goes on a little tangent of how at one point in time everything was in her name, and then one day everything was in Reese's name, in the blink of an eye. Okay, girl, like, I mean, what value does that even hold? Like,
99% of all narcissistic abuse victims are being financially abused. And here's the wildest part. You may not know that it's happening to you. That certainly was true for me. It wasn't until my ex declared his intentions to take my money did I realize what had been going on. Could this be happening to you too? Hi, I'm Dr. Carrie Kerr-McAvoy, a mental health clinician with over 20 years of counseling experience, and I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. So let's first start off by defining financial abuse. It's a form of control where one person manipulates or restricts another's access to financial or economic resources. Money becomes the tool that they use to exert power and dominance.
Here's the thing. If he doesn't let you in, you're gonna have to go about this a different way. I mean, you can't kick the door down.
He closes tomorrow. Like, all my stuff is gonna just be gone, and I left with nothing. And
Right.
She left with the kids and went and lived in a hotel for a month while you stuck to the hotel.
Right.
Come on, man. I mean, can we get a break? I mean,
no, we can't.
Do you have any part? Is this his house? His own house?
Financial abuse is a fucked up thing, so everything is in his name, even though I paid for
Right.
half fucking everything, and
Right.
all the furniture I paid for, and I'm still letting him keep half of it. Like,
She got receipts for all on her credit card, with her name.
Right.
I know you guys don't do property shit. I know this is petty for you guys. So come on, man.
I mean, legally we can't kick down a door. I mean, we can go
Legally,
talk
you
to
can knock
him.
on the door and you can arrest
we
him
can
right
go
now.
talk to him
Fucking-
if he answers and it's him.
try to do that then.
Yeah. You're gonna come outside and tell him to leave. Like you said, he's in Kansas right now. So
I just seen him. He said Kansas. I'm not. I know.
We're not disputing it. We're not.
Here, so
we're
listen,
not-
they sell the house tomorrow, right? Or the 19th. So once he sells the house, he's no longer in possession of the house, right? It's not his house. So if I show up out here with my Uber truck on the 19th when they close, I'm just asking you a question. We can't. Are you working on the 19th? We can't give advice. Okay. All right. Okay. I see where you're going. It might be something I do, but I can't give you advice. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you, man.
Most of the time, we imagine scenarios where someone aggressively cuts off another's access to funds. But this abuse can be subtle, like concealing take-home pay, siphoning money into another account, or forging signature on a legal document. According to Wire, an online resource for abuse victims, financial abuse is withholding money, controlling the household spending, or refusing to include one's partner in financial decisions.
He left me on my bank account, but I didn't have a job. I was a stay-at-home mom. And at that point, as like a 25-year-old girl, I lost all access to money for the next 20 years. So in the beginning, what he'd do is he'd give me little envelopes of cash. So like if I was going to Walmart, he'd say, how much do you estimate you're gonna need? And I could estimate $80 and he'd give me $80. And I got really good at like putting stuff at the back of the conveyor belt that like if the total was $90, I could say, well, I don't really need the mayonnaise and I don't really need that extra thing of paper towels. There were months that I ran out of money living in $1 million house and that I would literally call my mom and ask her if she could send me $20 to buy milk for the week. My name was never on any of our homes. My name was never on any of our cards. When we divorced, I wasn't even a roommate in our condo.
In the Netflix series Made, we meet Alex Russell. She's a young mom who's attempting to escape the abuse of her alcoholic husband with barely $1 to her name. She begins working as a maid while navigating the confusing maze of government assistance and fighting for the custody of her young daughter. Every time she financially succeeds in one area, she is hit by another huge setback.
You didn't do that. You gave it back to him.
Yeah.
No. No.
Look, if he wants to do charity work,
No. No.
he could
Sean,
donate it to the Red Cross.
Sean, that's my fucking car. That is my life. That is my only way for me to leave here. Sean, that's
Late
the
for
only
work.
way for me to do anything.
I'm late for work!
But financial abuse is something that many people face in their daily lives. It can range from the woman whose husband won't let her have a credit card to the man whose partner takes his paycheck every week and then gives him an allowance to live on, or the older parent whose adult child uses their retirement savings without their knowledge. The common thread among these diverse examples is a stealthy erosion of financial independence and the power imbalance that gets created. Financial abuse strips a person of the sense of control over their own life. To understand the power of financial abuse, we need to first think about the role money plays in our life. It provides access to food, shelter, and even safety. Everything relies on the currency of money. It is the currency of our autonomy. Our independence and freedom depends on our ability to have control over our own finances. Imagine being trapped without the resources to escape, subject to constant control and manipulation. The stress, the anxiety, and the sheer exhaustion of living in such a circumstance would be unbearable. It would be like being caged, but the bars aren't made of steel, but of bank statements and credit scores. So why do narcissists use financial abuse? Because it's about control and fear. Remember, the narcissist's shame-based core is hinged around not wanting to be found out and yet not wanting to be left or abandoned. So they use their relationship to confirm their superiority and to seek validation. And they do this by taking control of another person, including their finances. This process creates a dependency between them and the other person. They've essentially tied that person to them, making it harder for the victim to leave. Financial abuse can look different in every different situation. Here's what to do if it's happening to you. First, seek legal advice. Don't assume that you know or that your partner knows the law. I can't tell you the number of times I have counseled patients who had gotten bad information because they were relying on what they had learned from social media or what their partner has said. Learn the law in your area by seeing an attorney. Second, establish your own bank account. It's possible to do this from the comfort of your own home through online services, and then start putting something in it, even little bits at a time. Every bit helps. Thirdly, keep a running record of all instances of financial manipulation. Fourth, make copies of the most important paperwork like passports, marriage license, birth certificates, bank account informations, deeds, wills, trusts, and keep them in a safe place, preferably offline. Fifth, reach out to the local domestic violence organization for support and guidance. And finally, build a support system, which is crucial. Remember, you're not alone in this fight, and isolation is a great way to keep you silent and dependent. Financial abuse.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who to ask about this, but I had a domestic violence case, and my abuser was charged with assault, and his attorney told my attorney that he pled guilty to that, but I wasn't notified, so I was just wondering if I was supposed to be notified. If you're struggling in active addiction, I'm a partner with Groups Recover Together. They are both online and in-person treatment program. They're 420 friendly. They believe in harm reduction. They believe in helping rebuild your life holistically, not just by giving you some medication. They believe in, yes, medication helps, but removing the substance and getting, the right treatment, that's step one. But coming out of active addiction doesn't just magically make everything easy. Life is still really fucking hard. And Groups is incredible at helping you find housing or clothing, get your driver's license. You have group therapy sessions every single week. They're an incredible team of people. Groups is always linked in the description box down below. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay in recovery, whatever that looks like to you, because there's no wrong way to recover. And I'll see y'all in my next one.